Welcome to the Death by Disney podcast. I'm your host, Adam. And finally, I'm glad that I'm doing an episode about a movie that I kind of liked, although I had mixed feelings. So the last two episodes I recorded, one was Gus, which is an abysmal movie, and the other, I think, was Rob Roy, the Highland Rogue. But Gus is really bad. So this is the ugly Daschund, and that is, I never know how to say that word. Daschund, they say in the movie. So this is from 1966, and the plot is the garrisons live with a Great Dane who thinks he's a dainty Dachshund. His identity crisis results in an uproarious series of household crises that reduce the garrison's house to shambles. I gave it 5 out of 10 stars, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Dean Jones stars in this live-action Disney movie from the 1960s, which would be a lot better, but is tarnished by some inexcusable racism. The plot is pretty simple. A man doesn't like Dachshunds, prefers Great Danes, and finally has a Great Dane puppy of his own, and he lies to his wife about the fact that it's a Great Dane puppy. The puppy grows up and causes a lot of mischief, which is not always his fault. Sometimes it's the fault of his sisters, who, despite growing up together, seem to have an intense hatred for him. At other times, it's the fault of his human owners who do not have any situational awareness whatsoever, or their guests who seem to panic at the idea of a large dog existing. The film has great kinetic energy, and it's a sort of time capsule of 1960s exuberance. Then it is marred by having an unnecessary racist pair of characters who are Japanese, speak in a stereotypical accent, and who think a large dog is in fact a lion. I think these scenes are not necessary for the film and could be removed without actually losing anything from the film, and the film would play better to a modern audience. But who am I kidding? Very few people apart from myself will ever watch this movie nowadays. But I do really tend to enjoy this time period of Disney filmmaking. Because it's kind of like this lost era of live action from like the late 60s, early 70s, where their animation wasn't doing so hot and they were just trying to be like a regular movie company, film making company. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that they take things out of some movies, or they have warnings about sensitive things, and I think that they did have the warning about sensitive things on Disney Plus. Why not just take it out? Like, it doesn't need to be there. So one trivia thing is that Susan Pleshette, who plays the wife and does a really good job, she is supposed to be obsessed with dachshunds in the movie, but in the real life she had other dogs, and she had to actually change her clothes and have a shower before she went home so her dogs wouldn't smell her co-stars on her, which is kind of cute. Yeah, so for the first time in a while, my review is not the worst review here. My review is pretty good. The good reviews that I found were basically like, oh, it has dogs. I like dogs. This is a fun movie, and it's true. But here is a negative review. This section is called What the Masses Say. This review is 3 out of 10 and has the inevitable awe factor. Otherwise, a plodding and predictable Disney outing. Advertising designer and his wife are at odds over their canine brood. Her 4 dachshunds to his friendly, clumsy Great Dane. Noisy comedy from Walt Disney buttresses the endless husband and wife arguments with their 4-legged slapstick chaos and sight gags, some of which no doubt will please the impressionable. Slick, empty nonsense with unconvincing marrieds at the center. Dean Jones and Susan Pleshette, sleeping in separate twin beds, lovingly refer to each other as dear and darling without any genuine affection between them. Everything is queued up in advanced process for infantile reaction and then cleared away without anything to remember the next day. And that's from Moonspinner 555 from September 23rd, 2013. I disagree. Um, I disagree that it's plotting. It's predictable, sure, but like it's just zany. It's got this like exuberance, as I mentioned. And I think whenever you call married couple marrieds, like that that loses a bit of that's really disrespectful. They're a married couple, marrieds. Like, are you anti-marriage or something? That's strange. I mean, I am anti-marriage. Don't get me wrong. I don't think anyone should get married, but saying marriage is weird. And like, so they say that they sleep in separate twin beds. They have to. That they had to at the time. That was the standard in television. Married couples wouldn't have the same bed, even though it's really, really strange. But they wouldn't show you in the same bed. And also, if they were sitting on the same bed, one person's legs had to be on the ground at all times. So that's why they did that. It wasn't anything to do with the lack of love in this marriage. Because, you know, he says or she says that they lovingly refer to each other as dear and darling without any genuine affection. What's the guy's name? Oh, the actor's name. Dean Jones has this like incredible charisma, and so does Susan Pleshette, and they do look like a married couple. They're not happy all the time because they have this agent of chaos who's the giant dog. So I think it's acceptable. Is it like a realistic depiction of marriage from 1966? No, it's a movie about a giant dog and a family of little dogs. And that's it. I like that kind of movie where it's not a big idea. It's like a small idea, and the small idea is just taken to its ridiculous extremes. So I think it could have been a very, very good movie, but this casual racism just kind of destroyed it. And, you know, I it just doesn't need to be there, to be honest. And as I said a few times, I think Disney could edit it out of the movie. And I mean, no one would care. I think no one cares about the movie enough for them to edit it that way. Let's put it that way. Okay, thank you for listening to my review of The Ugly Dachshund. Um, uh, I had a clever thing that I was saying before, but I don't remember. Thank you for listening to my review, and you be you. That wasn't it. But anyway, bye.